Welcome back to Bradley's Garage. Today we're working on a 2005 Honda Element. We're going to be doing some suspension work, so let's jump on it. All right, so we're going to start in the rear. You got a good jacking point on the rear subframe. So just get your jack in position there and we'll get it up in the air. All right, so we got it in the air. A good position for the jack stands to be out of your way is right out here on the edge of the subframe. We'll just lower it down. Perfect, and I always leave the jack there just as an extra safety measure. So let's get the wheels off on both sides and jump on the rear shocks. All right, so before we get it in the air, start working on the suspension. It's easier just to prep the inside. So you want to just get your seats up out of your way. So pull on your string there. You have a yellow tab here you're going to pull on. That unlocks the seat. And then it lifts straight up. And then this you can fold out of your way, and then you're just going to simply clamp this on the grab handle there. So if for some reason these are broke, okay, let's just say that I've seen it before happen. So you can just take like a regular ratcheting strap or a pull strap, and you can hook it on here and then hook it down here, and then you can have something to support that seat while you're working on the suspension. All right, step one, get your plastic pry tool, pop off the rear cover. Okay, then we have a 14 millimeter 6-inch extension, and we're just gonna go ahead and break these. Break those free. There's two, one in the front and one in the back. Okay, we're gonna switch over to the trusty Milwaukee. Okay, one nut. Okay, two nuts. All right, we switch to the other side. Same thing. Pop the plastic cap off. Break it free. Okay, switch to the Milwaukee. Reach in there and grab the nuts. Okay, now we can get the car in the air and get underneath. Okay, so on the driver's side, you have to move this little evap contraption here. It's held on by three 10 millimeter bolts. So we just need to loosen it. So you got one there, you got one here kind of in front of the shock here. So that third one is located here. Like I said, you just need a swivel. It's kind of a tight area. So get your tin on there. Give it some support. Okay. And then now this is just loose. I kind of just let it hang there out of our way. And now we can attack that lower shock bolt. All right, guys, so I know we're working on a two-wheel drive in this video, but I wanted to show you the all-wheel drive version of the Element. You're gonna have an axle here. It doesn't really impact stuff, but I just visually wanted to show you guys. Once you get the evap canister thing out of the way, and this is gonna drop out the same exact way as we did in the two-wheel drive, and you have complete access to your sway bar in links as well. Axles, not really anything that's gonna impact you. So I just wanted you guys to get a visual so you can see it and help you out if you have the all-wheel drive version. All right, so we're underneath the car. Step one is to go ahead and remove this sway bar link. So it's a 14. Sometimes it'll spin. Oh, you can get it stuck. Sometimes you might have to use your Allen. It's a 5 millimeter Allen if you need to stick it inside with an open-end wrench to take it the rest of the way off, but we got lucky. It spun off. This is just gonna give you a little bit more room for the arm to have a little bit of movement. Okay, so we can just move that out of the way for now. We're going to take the other side off in a minute, and then we're going to work on this lower shock bolt. It's 17 millimeter. So I just get my cheater on my 1/2 inch bar and break it free, and then you can switch over Milwaukee and just spin that. So once I got it loose, I like to take a 17 millimeter, okay, and I just put it on this upper arm. And basically what it does is just gives me a little bit of leverage. As you can see, if we go like this and we pull the arm down, then the shock and everything is moving. So we just want to take a little bit, there's a tiny bit of pressure holding up, pushing the shock up. So we just want to relieve that a little bit as we spin the bolt out. So I just pull down a little bit. That way the bolt, can come out and it's free. All right, so just cheat a little bit, get your ratchet, spin it out. And then, like I said, just remember, once you get the bolt at the end, there's really nothing holding the shock anymore. So, okay, now our shock, since we've already done the top, all we got to do is maneuver it into the car a little bit. We have our evap stuff out of the way, and voila, first shock out. Okay, so we got our 5 millimeter Allen, and we got our opened in 14, and it gets a little corroded, rusty, and it spins off. All right, we just moved that out of the way. Like I said, we'll get the top one off in a second, and let's work on that bottom strut bolt. All right, so we'll spin it off, and I'm putting downward pressure with my breaker bar. This side's a little looser. Okay, no problem. And easy peasy. Okay, we got our shock to drop a little bit. So get it over and then go to the inside, and then it just simply drops right down. All right, so we're going to be using these Monroe, part number for the left, and there's a part number for the right. So we got those. And everything, they're fully assembled, so we don't need to play around with spring compressors or do anything crazy. Simply take them out of the box and we throw them in. I love this. It says this end installed up. So in case you didn't know that it doesn't get installed this way. I don't know how you can screw that up, but anyway, it has a little R on it for the right side. We got it out of the right box, so we're on the passenger side, i.e. the right side of the car. So let's throw it in. All right, so just like the removal, get the new one and you get it in, get it into position. You kind of have to go a little farther forward to miss the bracket. And then as you can see, the new shock is fully extended and it's all the way down. So that's why I have my little cheater here, so I can pull down. All right. I just kind of get it in position there, and that's how we're going to leave it for the moment. The best thing to do after you get the shock in is jump inside real quick and put your two nuts on top. So let's do that. Okay, so like I said, jump inside, get your top nuts here that holds it on, 14. Okay, got a little 14 deep with an extension. Basically what we want to do is just hold the shock up. We can come back later and torque that. We just want the shock to be in the full upright position. That way it'll be the easiest to get that bottom bolt in. Okay, so now we got the shock held up tight. We're going to use our little breaker bar here to pull down. All right, so just use your leverage, get it down. Okay, and then once you got to the end, you're good. The rest it'll get threaded in. You can release. Okay, so I just put a little downward pressure again and get the bolt started. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're on the left side. I forgot to mention this on the right side, but you make sure that the angle here, where your bolt goes through, is facing, slightly forward. At that angle, when you have the two holes lined up, front and back, that way you'll have it the right direction. So it technically you could put it in the other way, and then you'll struggle putting that bottom bolt in. So, all right, so we got it up in there. Just get your 17 wrench to give you some support and get it kind of into the channel. Okay, now we're gonna go inside and lock it down up top. All right, so we'll get our 14mm nut started. A little tricky depending on how big your hand is, but no problem. Spin it on a few times just to make sure we are not cross-threaded. Worst thing you want to do, or last thing you want to do is cross-thread these bolts, then you'll be taking them out again. So, all right, perfect. And we're just gonna snug them down. Make sure the shock is all the way as high as it'll go. Okay, so we just pull on it a little bit. Try to get it down. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I had to get a helper on this side. For some reason, this one's down a little bit more. And a little bit more. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're underneath. We're tightening up the strut bolt. Torque value is 69. Okay, on the passenger side now, same thing, torque at 69. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just torque down our upper nuts to 54. All right, all you gotta do is put the covers in. I put the top in first, give it a little tap, put the top in first, give it a little tap, and then you can put your seats back down if you want to. All right, so next up, we just get our little evap assembly back up, get your 10mm there. I like to just start one, then you can grab another one over here for the front side, just so it's not dangling in your face. All right. And then on this one, like I said, we need the swivel because it's kind of in a weird angle. So we'll do that one first. And I just snug them down. I don't think there's really any torque value there. Just make sure they're tight. And then you can cinch this one. All right, and then we just go ahead and get our front one here. You might have to wiggle the whole unit a little bit to get it started. After that, easy peasy. All right, there we go. All right, so now we're gonna be working on the sway bar. You're gonna take a 12mm and pull these two bolts out on both sides, okay? And then once we have the sway bar out, then we'll take off the sway bar in link and replace it out of the car on the one side. Just makes it a little bit easier. All right, on the other side now. All right, so we just bring the sway bar out. We'll go ahead and remove this. So let's see if we get lucky. Get our 14. Yeah, we got it almost all the way off. You pry it, jam it against one side. Okay, and get your other side off. Other side. All right, got lucky, easy. All right, let's grab the new ones. All right, so we got our sway bar bushings, and then we got our in links. So we got these from O'Reilly's since they have a lifetime warranty. We're just going to go with that versus the Honda ones. These, you know, could go bad over the years. I think these are pretty durable. They've lasted for 17, 18 years already. So we'll stick with the Honda parts for the bushings. So let's go ahead and get these on first. All right, so this is pretty easy. Just pull off the metal, and there's a split in it, so just grab it off. Yeah, these are, oh yeah, fucking hard. And we'll grab the new one. Also has a split in it. Well, on the other side. And stretch it over, same thing. And then you can just basically get this back into position, and this can rotate around just to find your place, okay? Same thing on the other side. Pull the top off, spread it out, and get the new one on. All right. Okay, and then this will rotate around. All right, now we'll work on the end links. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get our sway bar link on. So this one, it's the 66 ending part number. For the driver's side. So we're gonna just get it in position here. All right, and get our nuts started. Okay, so this is a 17. The aftermarket one, the factory one's 14, so we'll switch to that. All right, so let's just see if we can spin it with the socket. Might get lucky. It's a nylock, so it might start turning, so we'll see. Yeah, we got lucky, guys, so it worked. Okay, get this into position and spin it up. All right, let's go to the other side. Okay, so we got part number 65, ending part number 65. So see, if you keep the sway bar loose, then it makes it super easy to get the sway bar links on. So that's why I do it that way. Otherwise, you're kind of fighting with the tension on the sway bar because it's up tight. So just get this set up. Just makes things a little bit easier. All right. And we're just gonna go ahead and push. And we got lucky last time. Get in kind of position. Good. All right, so we just got the right angle on this one, so hopefully we can spin it up. Perfect. Oh, snug it down. Okay, now we got the sway bar end links all snug. All right, so I just give it a little wiggle, make sure everything's in position, everything's set, and then we can zip it down. 12 millimeter. All right, other side. Do a little like 50-50, get it centered. All right, so we got everything back together. Just don't forget, throw a little anti-seize on your lugs. You don't want to ever have an issue where you can't get these off in the future, so just a little touch on each one. And I realized that you know, you could replace the arms and these other bushings, but typically in the rear you don't really have too much wear on those, so that's why we just went ahead and just did the shocks, the sway bar end links, which go bad, and then those bushings, which you'll hear a lot of squeaking and clunking, is usually coming from that rear sway bar. So let's get the wheels on, get it back on the ground. All right, guys, so hopefully that helps you out with your 2003 to 2011 Honda Element rear suspension, kind of a refresh. We just did that strut coil assembly and the sway bar bushings and end links. All the parts we use will be in the description below, so check that out. And be sure to visit our channel for the video on the front suspension refresh on this Honda Element. So see you guys on the next one.